The title of our symposium, From the Border to the Center, came from a message we got very strongly that was conveyed to us by just about everybody we met during our delegation, which was, the Beltway doesn't understand what's going on here. You take a message back. There's a disconnect between understanding the lived realities in the borderlands, ground zero for immigration, and it looks very differently from, Capitol Hill.
We were speaking to a panel, and we wanted to ask a question about Operation Streamline, and the person we were speaking to is an immigration lawyer, and she had never heard of it, and so we had to explain to her what it was and how it worked. And the really interesting thing about this was, I asked her a question, and I wanted to know if there's a real human rights issue here in Operation Streamline. Who can hold the federal government accountable? Who's overseeing these issues and the practices and helping us to figure out whether this is something we want to be the case in the United States? She paused. She thought about the question: who's can hold the United States accountable? And after about a 30-second pause, she said, I think very sincerely, you are.
Well, we ended up calling the symposium a day of dialogue, truly a day of exchange. We didn't have action items, okay, coming out of the symposium, this is what we're all going to do. But the goal was, we're all going to come away, we're adding our voices to what is a public discussion. I mean, the symposium occurred the same week, it was 3 days before thousands of people converged at on Capitol Hill, demanding immigration reform. And the labor organization, the SEIU, that was at the forefront of organizing that march, was represented at our event. And so, it was sort of this is a truly nationwide public debate, public discussion, and we're engaged in it.
Our seminars and our discussions leading up to the symposium weren't just to continue the dialogue or to have it, but also to impress upon whoever we were talking to our own experience. And so, for example, the bill that's being considered right now came out 2 days before our symposium, I think. And the students and I had been talking about whether states are morally required to offer citizenship to people who are coming or who cross the border, or to anyone. And one of the things about the bill that was interesting is that it seemed like the path to citizenship was tied to border security, or it still is. And we had been considering the issue of the path to citizenship on its own as its own moral question. And so tying it to border security seemed to us to be a way of holding the path of citizenship hostage to this other issue. And so you see these interest groups negotiating, and for students who are coming out of an ethics of immigration class, right, they want to attack this question on its own because it's a legitimate question that needs to be answered.